building API and testing your API is one thing. So after building an API, you want to test it and see if everything is working as expected. And with .NET, you can use Swagger, you can use Postman, you can use everything that you want. So with .NET 8, Swagger was default configured. So whenever you build an API or when you create an API default, you have Swagger in there. But with .NET 9, things were changed. So with .NET 9, you have this that we call Map OpenAPI. So this is helping you to integrate other services that you want in here. So Swagger is not default configured here, but you can bring Swagger in here. And we also have what we call Scala, which is what we are going to talk about in this video. Scala is also another tool that you can use to make an API request in ASP.NET Core. It has a lot of advanced features that you can use. And the UI is also user friendly and very nice to make your API calls. And most people with .NET 9, it's easy to bring in Scala. So what I have here is simple API that we built. So this API basically have this DB context. First of all, we are using SQLite. So I have this here. And then when you go, you can see that we also have a domain folder here. I have an API response that wrapped everything or the response that we are going to get. So if you want to learn how to build an API, make sure to check my other video here. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And then you can also buy me a coffee where you can see the link in the description if you want to support this YouTube channel. So you can go down here, right here. And then you see this is a student construct, so we can say this is some kind of DTOs that we can use to make a request, where is data transfer object. So how we want to structure with data. So when we are creating a student, we want to have something showing. When we are updating student, we want to have the ID coming in up. So and then we have the model, which is what we are trying to put it into the database. And this is basically a simple database models here. So this is a model that we have, and this is what is going to the SQLite. And then I have a service right here. So this is iService, which is trying to have the interface, have all the method that we need to make a request or like create and everything. And then we are mapping in, and then we have our API response wrapped up, and then we have the DTO coming in. So we have this response, and then we also have this service. So this service, we are not doing any auto mapper here, we are just doing everything manually. So we create student, and then you see we see everything in the database, and we have the API response giving us the data back. And then we have this. So I'll make sure that the code is available on the on GitHub, so you can check the description. You are going to find the link to this code that you can go through. It's a simple API. We are not doing anything complex here, but the goal here is that we need to learn how Scala works. So the first thing that we need here in the .NET environment is that we need to go to Nugget and then get that package coming in. So we are going to go here, and this project we are saying that manage Nugget. So right now here we want to go in there and trying to install the Scala package coming in. So we are going to search for Scala right here coming up. So Scala is coming, and you are going to install the first one right here. So go ahead and then install this package. So after installing this package, we go back to our program.cs right here to make sure that we register this package. And as I said earlier on, with this .NET 9, you have this map OpenAPI that is giving you an option to then add other services like Scala in here. So what we are going to do is that we are going to do something like we are going to register Scala here. So we say app dot map Scala API reference. So this is what we need. We need to bring in only this interface and everything will be configured for us. So there is also one thing that we need to do in our property here. So we go here, right here, and then in here we want to add some stuff, right? So we want to go in here and see that launch URL here, and then what we want to bring in is that we want to say that Scala okay /v1. So that is what we want to do. So this will also help us when it will route in when we run application. You see that it's working. So now this is an API that I have, and I want to use Scala to make an API request and see how the response looks like and everything like what we used to do in Swagger. So now we have installed the Scala package, we have configured it, and now we have mapped the route in. So let's run the application right now and then check if everything is going to work as we expect. So what we need to do is that we need to go ahead and run the application. So this is running the application, and you can see that we have a beautiful interface here. So this is the Scala interface, and you see this interface look beautiful as you compare to Swagger. So one thing is that you can do light mode and then you can do dark mode, and that is one thing I love about Scala. So you can see that all our API endpoint is being defined in this section. So imagine when we have more of them, we can search, and then you see all of is coming here. So when you have a plenty endpoints, you can always search. So right here, if I go for maybe if now we only have students, so if I will check weather forecast, which is also added in this, so we have the weather forecast, and you see it's coming. So you can always also search if you have a lot of endpoints that you want to use. So now the first thing is that let's use the weather forecast to make an API request. And one thing is that you can also see something here called models. So this model is kind of our DTO, and with Swagger you always have this under so with this one is also similar to Swagger, where you have the model or you have your DTO sometimes also added here for you. So you can see that when we want to create a student, this is what we need, and then when we want to weather forecast is also bringing us this. If you want to update student, this is what we need. So this is kind of the DTO that we have created and configured in our API. So the first one is that we want to get student. So I already have some data in there we are going to use. We are also going to create student, don't worry. So making an API call, so all our endpoint is being defined here for us, which is this is a Scala interface. So we are going to make an API call right here, and you can choose what you want to do right here. So one thing about Scala is that we can say we want to use HTTP client, right, to make our API calls. We can go and see that here we want to use this. We can configure it and say that okay, we want to use this. So this is, we can always configure it to what we want, right? So let's go ahead and say that which one do we supposed to, we can use Axios right here, and you see it's making a request, right? So it's using Axios to, which is the JavaScript stuff, right, to make an API request. So in C# we can also use our HTTP client, and it defines everything here for you, which is very beautiful. So let's try to make an API calls and see. So here is define everything for us. So our route here, and you can see this is get request, and that is why we have the other endpoints here. So when we send this right now, you see we are getting an endpoint. I mean, response is coming in because I already have this in the SQLite database. So you see the response comes in 200. Okay, and then you can see that this is what we have in the database. So if we want to post, it always also give us the DTO that we configured right here. So we can go and post something. So I'm going to say that Clifford post. So we can have Clifford post right now, and then the email that we are going to have is cliff.gmail. This is a simple API. We are not doing any validations or something in here. So we can see that at gmail.com, something like that, just like that. And then my phone number is a series of strings, so I can go in down here and then type in something like this. And then my index number, I can make it 20. And then let's go ahead and hit, and then this is created. So you can see the response coming in. So this is how we create something, or how we do post request in Scala. So you can see that this is very nice. We have created, and you can also download this. So we can download, and then we open it, and then here you can see this is the data we posted, right? And it's very nice. So let's go back. So you can download this one too. And now making an API request, we have a lot of them. So when we send right now, you see that the one that we just created, which is Clifford, this is the one that we just created right now. And then you can see my API response is wrapped, so we are getting some kind of response nicely. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy this ID, which is a GUI ID right here. And now we want to get students by ID. And one thing about Scala is that you can see that there is some kind of interface here where you have cookies. You can provide values and everything. When you want to have some kind of headers, you can do that. And if you have any query parameters, you can put in those. So if I have any query parameter like this, and then I start putting in the values and everything, so this is very nice. But what we want to do right here is that we don't have any query parameter. What we want to do is that we want to go ahead and then try to add our ID. So the ID is already defined here for us. So the next thing that is that we want to make a request, and now you can see we are getting a response that this is a specific ID coming in. So our data and everything, so get by ID, this is how we also do it. And then you can see the minutes and everything, and this is very nice. So we can also update, and the update you can see is also looking like, so this is what we have, so the data we have. So I'm going to update this. So let's copy the ID. We already have the ID, so it's the same. So we provide the ID here, and one thing that I did is that you also need to provide the ID here. So here we are going to go ahead and say the update, and then we are changing the this to update at gmail.com. So update at gmail.com is something that we need right here. And then what we are going to do is that we are going to come in and change the phone to a phone number like this, and then here we change the ID. So now look at the information we already have. This one, the ID is 20. We have all these things. So now if we make a request, we send a request like this, you see this is updated, the ID is 40. So let's go back and make a request for the ID, the same thing, and you can see that everything is working. Now we are getting updates, and we are getting everything coming in, and then this is good. So what of delete? So now let's go and make a request right here, and then we can get one data here and delete. So let's say if we want to delete the first one, which it says that cliff text, we can then copy like that. So we copy the ID, and then we come back like this, and what we want to do is that we want to delete. So we hidden, and then we hit in the request. So let's see, we didn't copy the ID wall. So let's go back and then copy the ID. Let's make a request. So it's still here, so let's make sure to copy the ID wall like this, go back, and then we provide in the value like this. Let's make a request. Now you can see we are getting 204, no content found. So when we go back and make a request, you see that That one is not there. Cliff test is not there. So this is basically the UI. So you see, we just put in something and then we are making API calls right here, and this is some kind of like a modal, very nice, helping us to make an API request here without even closing something, going back. We can do everything here. So Scala is one of the tool that you can use. Is very powerful and it's easy to navigate around. So when we close this one, we can come back. As I said, you can always choose a provider that you want to use to make your API calls. So we can say even do Python right here and it will work. So we go back and then we make a request, right? So based on what you want, so we test, and then when we make a request, it's going, and this is using the provider we chose. I mean, this one. So you always have an option to choose the service that you want to use, which is very beautiful. So this is how you use Scala, and I'll make sure that the code is available. You can also, download the document right here. So like what you used to do in Swagger, where you can download this and use it for what you want. So you can always download the document also here, and it will give you all the configured how you have your API request and response look like. So this is very nice, and Scala is also a tool. It's free. You can choose, and then do all your configuration. You can choose the service, where you want to use. So you can choose whatever you want. You can choose Azure, and then it will give you, it will write this thing for you. This is one thing I like. It will run this thing for you and check the routes and make the API calls for you. So try and test Scala and give me the feedback. So you can drop your comments if you are facing any challenge, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this content with others so that we can go ahead and then provide you with more content around .NET and Azure. So thank you for watching, and I'll make sure that the code is available on GitHub, and I'll see you in the next video.